Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on a new episode of Fate Apocrypha, which is on episode 6. Now, this episode right here, wow. I've seen and heard a lot of stories about, the past of Mordred, obviously. Those of you guys who read the King Arthur legends, at least, and knows a little bit from the beginning how Arthur became king, etc., will understand. But not to mention, if you actually read more into about the King Arthur legends, you would know how it became, etc. But aside from that, let's continue. We have to it that we get to see a scene of a beginning of a battle where it involves Mordred killing down many knights and ends up asking, where the hell is King Arthur? Where is the King of Knights, huh? And ends up clashing against her and asked him, well, of course, those of you guys who freaking know the Fate series, which I think you really should, will understand that Saber is a girl and a gender bending thing. Those of you guys who kept up with the Fate series, etc., will understand what I'm talking about here. But aside from that, we have to it that Mordred asked her why? Why have you not seen me as a worthy king in a certain way? Or how do you like that in a sense? Do you hate me that much? Is that why you don't want me here? And King Arthur says, not once I despised you, or I possibly, or even hate you. Do you want to know why I didn't give you the throne in the first place? And ends up appearing right in front of Mordred in a fast speed and ends up stabbing her beforehand and says, it's because you never had the capacity to become a king. And ends up killing her and her last words were like, father, and ends up dying. That's when, we get to know more of Mordred's backstory, how she became a knight eventually when she actually loved him and actually looked up to him and ends up killing any enemy in a certain way. Eventually, this person ends up telling her that you are the son of King Arthur and so forth. But we already know who this person is. And those of you who knows the Arthur legends, etc., would know who is that witch in a certain way. But aside from that, we have to it that Mordred, after figuring out the truth of being the son of the king, ends up asking the king, how come you don't see me as your son? Listen, why can't you acknowledge me? And ends up turning into a maddening rage freaking warrior and goes like, you never turn around to face me, you never recognize me. Fine, you know what? I'm gonna destroy everything you represent. You hear me? And it ends up with a dream like that, with her screaming in total agony and tears. And of course, we have to it that the motorcycle guy, which I'm gonna call him because his glasses, he does look like a motorcycle guy, is informed about a bunch of mages being killed, not to mention other people, involving Jack the Ripper. But aside from that, he gets ready to make his next move. And as for the Master of Rider of Black is really upset about this, she's really starting to go a little mad a bit, which I go I think you gone crazy enough, Psycho Woman. Calm the hell down. But aside from that, we have to it that Derek, along with another servant of Black or something, which I'm pretty sure that is a servant of Black, ends up planning out the next move and figure out the next person who could be very useful for a substitute of that homunculus who has the heart, which, of course, Sig has that heart. Because they actually value that thing very, very much in a certain sense, but I guess not as much as what's going on here. And this little kid, he's all excited about golems here and there, saying that, he doesn't matter how many people have to die, he'll just make the best golem. I'm like, kid, you need to calm the hell down or you're gonna get killed. But aside from major consequences, we had to it that Berserker of Black Master of Berserker Black ends up deciding to go out for a little stroll and ends up telling Berserker to keep an eye on the place while he'll call her should he be in trouble. We had to it that Akunu Saber, along with the motorcycle guy, etc. We have to it that they get ready to get ready for combat eventually, and we have to it that Kotomine Shiro talking to which I think Caster of Red, I think that's her. I don't know. Getting ready for another battle, But we have to it that Jack the Ripper is starting to cause some major trouble and decides to cause some trouble with Akuno Saber and the motorcycle guy. Of course, like Akuno Saber obviously is like here and there, etc. They end up clashing against Jack the Ripper, but ends up being interfered by one of the Black faction members, who apparently is the master of Kiron, and that master decides to clash with another master, which is of course Master Saber Red, ends up clashing against Master Saber. Sorry. Oh man, why am I stuttering? We have to it that two masters face against each other while the other two servants go against each other, and they actually did some gruesome damage against each other. Although it didn't look so gruesome, they did make each other bleed and gets ready to clash once more. As for the other two masters, they end up clashing against one another, and I think the other one who has who always sits in a wheelchair almost had the advantage thanks to her prosthetic assistant battle gear or something. And we have to it that the motorcycle guy ends up getting ready to kill her by shooting a bunch of bullets at her with his shotgun, and it ends off there, etc. So it looks like to me the way how this episode went, along with like looking into Akuno Saber's past. Of course, that's Mordred in a certain sense, and just combating against other Jack the Ripper, etc., and so forth. Sorry for stuttering here and there and not saying a lot here, etc., but it was a pretty cool episode in a sense, in my eyes. So, looking forward to more, and until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So, I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, right? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toodaloo!